Chapter 3 Jainism and Buddhism.
In the 6th century BC, the Aryan settlements expanded to the east, accompanied by rapid socio-economic and political changes. Society at some places had traits of tribal political organization, while at some other places, kingdoms were on the rise. Materialism and spiritualism both existed side by side. The people in the later Vedic age began to use implements and tools made of iron. The iron tools enabled them to clear forests, bring land under cultivation, and lead a settled life. As a result, there was surplus production of food grains. The surplus produce could be utilized by the kings to meet their military and administrative needs. It could also be used by people in the towns who specialized in various arts and crafts. All these advantages enabled the people to lead a settled life and to expand further in neighboring areas. This expansion resulted in wars between different tribes. In these wars, the larger and more powerful tribes defeated the smaller ones and expanded their territory and created large kingdoms. These kingdoms were called Janpadas. A number of Janpadas joined together to form bigger and more powerful independent kingdoms called Mahajanpadas. The 6th century BC is regarded as an important epoch in world history, which saw the emergence of thinkers like Zarathustra or Zoroaster in Persia, Confucius in China, and Mahavira and Gautama Buddha, among many others, in India. In India, it was the period when the orthodox religious beliefs and practices were challenged and even rejected by the new sects. Of these sects, Jainism and Buddhism emerged as the most potent religious reform movements. Sources. The three important sources which provide information about Jainism and Buddhism are the following. First, Angas. Jain scriptures are popularly known as Agamas, that is, what comes out from the mouth of the Lord. It is generally accepted that whatever Lord Mahavira taught after gaining omniscience was compiled by his disciples in 12 parts called Angas, Sanskrit word for parts. These Angas are collectively known as Dwadashangi. The foremost of these Angas is Acharang Sutra. Another well-known Anga is Vyakhya Pragyapati, which is more popularly known as Bhagavati Sutra. While the former deals with the code of conduct which a Jain monk is required to follow, the latter expounds the Jain doctrines in a comprehensive manner. Based on these Angas, the seers also compiled 12 auxiliary works that came to be known as Upangas. It is said that these Angas and Upangas were not written for a long time. They were orally passed on by the religious leaders to their pupils.
अगर आप अपने सिलेबस के सारे चैप्टर्स इस फॉर्मेट में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमें डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए नंबर पर कॉल करें.
According to famous historian R.C. Majumdar, towards the close of the 4th century BC, a famine in South Bihar led to the exodus of an important section of Jainas headed by Bhadrabahu to South India. Those that remained behind in Patliputra called for a council in order to revive the knowledge of the Angas. The result was the compilation of the 12 Angas. At another council held at Vallabhi in Gujarat in the 5th or 6th century AD, a final collection of the scriptures was made for the first time in Ardhamagdhi Prakrit language. The Angas are regarded as the most important part of the Jain doctrines. They discuss religious rites, stages of a householder's life, the vows of chastity, rules of conduct, and other features of Jain philosophy. Second, Triptikas. Triptikas are the most important literary works of the Buddhists. The word Triptikas means 3 baskets of Buddhist canon. The earliest writings of these texts were taken on long, narrow leaves, sewn together on one side and bound in bunches, then stored in baskets. Therefore, they were called the 3 baskets. These works, written in Pali language, included the following: the Vinaya Pitaka, which deals with the rules and regulations which Buddha promulgated for the monks, that is the bhikkhus, and the nuns, the bhikkhunis. It also gives an account of the life and teachings of Buddha, as well as some important aspects of ancient Indian history, customs and arts of the period. The Sutta Pitaka comprises the discourses of Buddha on various occasions. It also has discourses by some of the disciples of Buddha, such as Sariputta, Ananda, and others. The Dhammapada, that is the way of truth, is an important component of this Pitaka, which comprises Buddha's teachings. The Abhidhamma Pitaka deals with Buddhist philosophy. It describes things like the working of the human mind and the state of matter. Besides being the most reliable source of information about Buddhist religion and philosophy, the Triptikas provide a glimpse of the social, economic, and political life in the age of Buddha. Third, Jatakas. Jatakas refer to the tales which describe the previous births of Buddha in both human and animal form. Each tale begins by noting the occasion that prompted its telling and ends with the Buddha identifying the lives of the people in the introductory story with such people from the past. The future Buddha may appear in them as a king, an outcast, a god, an elephant, but in whatever form, he exhibits some virtue that the tale thereby highlights. Many Jataka tales have parallels in the Mahabharata and elsewhere in non-Buddhist literature. The Jataka stories have also been illustrated frequently in sculpture and paintings throughout the Buddhist world. According to A.K. Warder, Jatakas, the precursors to the various legendary biographies of the Buddha which were composed at later dates. Although many Jatakas were written from an early period which describe previous lives of the Buddha, very little biographical material about Gautama's own life has been recorded. However, the Jatakas throw significant light on the political, economic, and social conditions of people from the 5th to the 2nd century BC. They also reflect Buddhist morals, ethics, and principles.
अगर आप अपने सिलेबस के सारे चैप्टर्स इस फॉर्मेट में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमें डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए नंबर पर कॉल करें.
Causes for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. The following factors favored the rise and growth of Jainism and Buddhism. First, reaction against ritualism. Religious ceremonies by then had become very expensive beyond the means of ordinary people. Some priests hardly realized the sufferings of the common man. This was an important cause that gave rise to faiths that were simple and inexpensive. Second, corruption in religion. Corruption crept into religious practices. In order to extract money, the priests encouraged ordinary people to perform yagnas and conduct household rites beyond their means. Kshatriya rulers protested against the dominance of such practices. The common man could not reconcile to this attitude of the priests. Both Jainism and Buddhism were founded by 2 Kshatriya princes. Third, rigid caste system. The division of society into Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras had become rigid. It did not allow any social mobility. A person of one caste could not become a member of the other caste. There were restrictions on the basis of caste on food, drinks, and marriage. Interchange of caste was impossible. Fourth, difficult language. Sanskrit was considered a sacred language. Most of the Vedic literature was composed in Sanskrit. The priestly class gave discourses and chanted mantras in this language, which the common people found difficult to understand. Therefore, many people began to look for an alternative religion that they could understand better. Fifth, political situation. In the 6th century BC, Magad was ruled by Bimbisara and later by Ajatashatru. Both these rulers were liberal and tolerant. They too were free from Brahmanic influence and condemned certain social evils in their kingdoms. When the opportunity came, they patronized both Jainism and Buddhism. Sixth, agricultural economy. Killing of animals to perform sacrifices was against the interests of farmers in the Gangetic Valley. The use of iron had made the animal-drawn ploughing popular. Such farmers needed a religion that would give protection to animals. Both Jainism and Buddhism preached non-violence and were against animal sacrifices.
अगर आप अपने सिलेबस के सारे चैप्टर्स इस फॉर्मेट में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमें डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिए गए नंबर पर कॉल करें। ऐसे ही और एजुकेशनल वीडियोस देखने के लिए हमारे चैनल होम रिवाइज को सब्सक्राइब करें।